Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 296 of the Canadian Football Countdown, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network and of the Alternative Football Network. Adam Stewart, Trey Colbeck, who I think is in witness protection by the amount of darkness in his screen, is with us. Mike couldn't quite make it. I'm not sure where he is. And, of course, Ryan. Hello, does that guy still work here?
One of those indefinite suspensions that just keeps adding on and on, or like Chad Kelly just ends up back on the 6-game IR.
Yeah, that or, I think he's going to have a longer suspension than Sean Lemon soon enough after all this is said and done. So, anyways, again, welcome to the episode here, the Canadian Football Countdown, brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Game Time TV. Learn more by visiting GameTimeTV.ca or by following us on Facebook at facebook.com/GameTimeTVMB. Again, Adam Stewart, Trey Colbeck with you here. Trey, how's things going over in the land of Winnipeg this evening? Are the alarm bells going off yet?
Sorry, my cats are biting on my cords here. I don't know, man. I think that the Winnipeg fan base is too set on we were 0 and whatever last year. Right, and we were this year and this that year. So I don't think they're quite ringing the sky is falling yet, but I think they should be.
I have a funny feeling this might be worse than last year, but you know what? I'm not a big Winnipeg fan. I don't know what this to gauge this team. They were winning earlier, and now all of a sudden they got a little bit of problems here and a little bit of adversity. But hey, we'll get through all of that here tonight. Of course, we'll be going through the Week 9 CFL preview. Boy, I can't believe it's already 9 weeks of the CFL are come and gone already, and we're getting into that time of year where it gets real fun real quick. Week 9 preview, we're going to talk about the 4 games coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about Week 8 and what we've seen there. Probably got to mention a certain catch, I would think, or therefore interception. We'll get through our betting. We'll get through previews of the fantasy our fantasy players to watch this evening. And you know what? We'll go and we'll get a whole pile of other things here, getting you ready for week number 9. But before we get going, we do want to acknowledge that the Canadian Football League is brought to you from Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Sinanabwe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and the Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation, as well as from Treaty 4 territory, traditional territory of the Cree, Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and of course the homeland of the Métis Nation. And hey, if you can't get enough of us, I'm not sure how, but nevertheless, if you do not want us to hear more from us, make sure you head to our Discord channel. Us and Ryan and Mike and, of course, all of our good fan and communities in there. Boy, they got some great insight, and I know there's been some ongoing talk on fantasy picks and up to what's going on in the game days. Of course, the depth charts are all there. All you need to know for your week of CFL, either fantasy or of betting, or of just, hey, how's the game's going to go, check out our Discord channel and make sure you make a smart comment on my farming part of the channel as well. Hey, important things. You got to clean your windows when you get a chance to clean your windows. Right, Trey?
Yeah, and use inoculants.
And use your inoculants, yep. We're going to change that into like Hulk Hogan soon enough. You got to make sure you say your prayers and use your inoculants. That's probably the new saying. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Anyways, we're going to get into the week 8 recap here, though. Or what? Is that Trey?
Sorry, that's a crazy week, Hulk Hogan and Ozzy.
I can't believe it. That was tough.
Mm.
And not very old, either one of them. I mean, Ozzy, eating bats' heads, that.
Yeah, you don't know the repercussions of biting bats' heads off, I guess.
So which is worse, the bat heads or the steroids, I wonder? I mean, allegedly. So, anyway. We're not a rock band podcast or a wrestling podcast. We're a CFL podcast. And hey, let's get on to week number 8 here. Quick recap of last week. I'll be honest, I didn't get to watch a whole lot of games last week. I did catch a little bit of the Rough Riders and Edmonton Elk game. From what I seen, the Riders' defense was really good. Everything else on both sides of football wasn't pretty. Or did I miss something, Trey?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't really catch too much of last week's either. Really busy with some stuff. But, Yeah, Saskatchewan, edging out a win here, but I kind of figured this game would be close. Was it Fajardo's first actual game back in Regina? I'm not surprised it was only a 3-point game, but Saskatchewan got the win, which is the most important thing, right? And now they're the lone top team in the league, and that's kind of where I think a lot of people have them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know what? He's been pretty good. I mean, looked pretty good this week or last week. We'll see what he does this week. I'm sure that he probably will get the start again against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll talk about that more later on. The other games in the week, Toronto, Winnipeg, that was a little bit of a shock. Although Chris Streveler had to come in, what was it, halftime, I think it was, and on relief of Zach Collaros, who I said, what is Mike O'Shea doing putting a quarterback in that quick?
Yeah, I don't know, man, what's going on with that, because they give him this extra contract extension next year. I guess it's not guaranteed, but it's somewhat of an assurance. I don't know what's going on in Winnipeg, man. And Streveler's not the answer long term. Maybe a couple, he looked fine week 1 or week 2, I guess, game 1, but he's not the long term. I can't imagine Wilson being the long term solution either. Yeah, I don't know. Are we looking for a late season quarterback trade again, like 2019, to save us? That's kind of the direction we're heading right now with, but I don't know what team's going to cough up a quarterback right now. Edmonton's not going to give up Ford or Fajardo easily. Montreal's not going to give up MBT. And I'm not saying these are the solutions. When is Kelly ever going to come back? And does that kick Arbuckle out? There's a lot of possibilities, I guess, but I think at this rate, that's kind of the way the quarterback situation's heading in Winnipeg.
Well, remember, Toronto was the team that traded Zach Collaros to Winnipeg that time.
Yeah.
And after their quarterback, they weren't sure if he was ever going to come back from injured list. So, you never know. Maybe it'll happen again. Hard to say. Another game in the week. Calgary goes and falls at the last minute to the Montreal Alouettes. More importantly, though, Vernon Adams injured in that game. I don't know if you watched the play when Adams got taken out there. Yeah, I don't know what Vernon Adams was doing, not protect himself a little bit better.
Yeah, than that, and their whole offense is depleted. Philpott looks out. Elford looks out. A lot of their receivers, they had one of the most dangerous receiving corps in the league, and now they have a bunch of no-namers with Dominic Rhymes. Dominic Rhymes is now going to be the go-to guy for sure, and a bunch of guys I've never really heard of before. So Calgary's offense just got a lot more interesting, and I wonder if that tends, we're going to talk about fantasy. Does that mean maybe lean more on their running back if you got to go with PJ Walker, who's making his start here? I don't know. Calgary's an interesting one I want to talk a look at this week too.
Yeah, for sure. Last game of the week to talk about, and really, it was a tale of two halves. Winnipeg or BC looked like they did pretty good in the first half. Made an absolutely the Carter Jr. made probably the best interception I think I've ever seen. NFL, CFL, NCAA, whatever football. I think the best interception of football I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But Hamilton holds on to win that game 34-30, something along those lines. What did you think of that interception, Trey?
Did you see that? That's all I could think about was that was crazy. A lot of times people forget too, DBs and cornerbacks, they're sometimes it's not, some people think that a DB or a corner is just a receiver guy that wants to be a receiver but can't catch. But sometimes a receiver is just a DB who can't tackle. He wants to be DB and he sucks at tackling. So they put him on offense, right? So those cornerbacks and DBs are just as athletic and just as, have great hands, just like the receivers they're covering, if not better. You just maybe not see it all the time because they more go swat down first, where a receiver obviously goes catch first, right? But no, that was unreal, timed perfectly, especially in 2025, not to interfere with the receiver. That was, you put all those things on top of each other. That's got to be the catch of the year. And if something tops that would be wild. What's going
it's going to take a lot to top that. I mean, I remember that SJ Green catch in 2010 against the Riders, and I thought that was utterly amazing. This thing was better. Honestly, Carter Jr.'s was better than that catch, and I didn't think anything would ever beat that catch. So, you know what? Just better athletes and everything else in the league, and boy, it's starting to show. Boy, that was an entertaining game against the BC Lions and Hamilton Tiger Cats. I think that's about it. Anything else you wanted to go through for week 8, Trey?
No, you showed that comment in the thing. Getting good for you. You got 130 points because I think I got 30. So
You did better than that, Trey.
40,
much.
like 40. I don't even know. So
yeah,
congratulations.
we'll get into that a little later for sure. But
Yeah.
it wasn't pretty. Nevertheless, my week wasn't great either, mind you. So, I mean, Trey was only 20 points behind me, and that's not pretty either. But hey, we'll get into all of our fantasy, how we did, and everything else later on in the show. But let's move on here, Trey. If you're ready to, let's move on to game number 1 this week. The Calgary Stampeders. What? Travel to Ottawa. How is Ottawa the -3.5 point favorite in this one?
I mean, is Verdon Adams that much more integral to Calgary's offense than Zach Collaros is to Winnipeg's? Because Collaros is out, which we'll talk about on the Friday night game, and the Bombers are still 3.5 point favorites. This game swapped. Like, I'm pretty sure Calgary was the favorite early in the week, and this completely swapped. And I just have a tough time believing that I have a tough time believing PJ Walker is no slouch. They still have Dedrick Mills. They still have Dominic Rhymes. They still have a lot of talent. Do they have Phil Pott, Alfred? No, they're all out. But I think Calgary, I'm surprised this game is 3.5, like such a switch. Let me see. Did I put the line in Monday? What did it come from?
I looked at it.
Yeah,
I think it was
Calgary was a 4.5 point favorite. So this swapped 7. Like, this swapped the touchdown, and that to me is wild. I don't know, but I mean, I guess what they're basing it off of is after those injuries last week, Calgary disappeared.
Yeah.
Right?
I
guess that's what they're basing it off of. And Ottawa's coming in off the bye.
I just got to take a look today. I didn't see the depth chart quite yet. I know, obviously, Vernon Adams Jr. is off the depth chart. Mm-hmm. Is Damien Alford off the depth chart too?
Yeah.
Oh,
him and Phil.
That hurts. Those two, I think, maybe. One of them I could see. Really, that's a lot of change. But having both of them gone at the same time, I mean, PJ Walker loses a very big target. And that means Calgary's got to play a national somewhere that maybe they don't want to play. And it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. I can't remember. I got to look who, when I get a chance, I'll take a look and see who they're going to swap in from Damien Alford. But
they got some Janusson. Yeah. It's like a Janussas.
That's a Canadian.
Yeah. That's their Canadian receiver now.
When you have to go and pronounce a guy's name by spelling it, you got problems if you're Calgary right at the moment. I mean,
Janussis? I don't know. That could be either or.
Yeah. I mean, Dominic Rhymes, I guess they got that. And I mean, Dedrick Mills is going to, I'm guessing Dedrick Mills is going to have 40, 50 carries.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But that being said, I mean, PJ Walker knows what he's doing, I would think, right? He's an NFL quarterback. He played for a little bit in the show. Big quarterback from what I've seen, right?
No, I agree. And he spent some time in the UFL or XFL or one of those leagues, and he's had some times, and there's a lot of hype around him. Do I think he's gonna steal VA's job? No, but I think I'm less worried about Calgary's situation than I am about my own team, to be honest, which again we'll talk about. I think Calgary surprised me. So even if Vernon Adams misses 2 or 3 weeks, if Calgary can float around 500, they're still first in the West, right? Or second in the West, sorry, behind Saskatchewan. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about Calgary. I think if they run properly and PJ Walker gets, and who knows, some of these second string receivers coming in, that's who Walker's been working with in practice. So how many times do we see the backup quarterback and a backup receiver actually have some chemistry? So I'm actually kind of surprised, and I lean still towards Calgary in this one.
Yeah, I do too. Ottawa side of the football, it sounds like Drew Brown is ready to roll for this game here. They're getting a little bit healthier, I guess, with him back. A guy that I've found is very quiet this year so far has been Eugene Lewis. I mean, Justin Hardy is still doing his thing. You still look at some of these other receivers for Keelan White has been very good for the Ottawa Red Blacks when he has been playing. But Eugene Lewis, I don't know if you found it or what, but very surprising how kind of slow he started this season.
No, I agree. And it's, coming off the superstar comments in Edmonton, right? But I wonder, I don't know if Ottawa was the place to go. I was pretty high on them early, but they've still kind of looked mid lately. I don't know. I don't know if Ottawa's got all their ducks in a row properly either. It might still be them in Edmonton just seem to be a year or two away still from getting anything going.
It's just, to me, I still look at offensive line, and I mean, I like Jacob Ruby and I like Desjardins and a few of the other pieces they have in there, Ottawa right now. But, it just seems like they're always short of offensive linemen. And Braylon Addison is getting back into the lineup. Thanks, Adam, for that comment. So we did know that. So that might help open up Eugene Lewis. I mean, he probably was getting double teamed there for a little while. So, yeah, I do like that maybe Eugene Lewis and the Ottawa Red Blacks are going to get some help here pretty quickly. Fantasy players to watch, Trey. What do you got in this one here? I mean, do you want me to go first? It's pretty clear on one player I've got.
I bet we have the same player. I think if we're talking running back.
Oh yeah.
We're talking, of course, Anna DeBoye. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. Out of DeBoye. Absolute lights out, no matter. No, I'm kidding. It's Dedrick Mills. No, honestly, Dedrick Mills, I think, is going to get the football early, often, and pretty much for the entire game. He may this one. I mean, they're going to, but I don't know what's going to happen here. I think you're going to see a whole lot of Dedrick Mills and plenty of it this week. And I think he's pretty much a sure lock. If you really want a fantasy player, that should be one of your sure locks this week.
Mm-hmm.
Any other players that you're really looking at in this game? I looked at PJ Walker, but I think, honestly, usually me and Ryan both like taking that backup just to go and mess with trying to get a little bit more depth in our receivers or running backs. I think there's actually cheaper options than PJ Walker, to be honest with you.
No, I had the same thought too until I realized another backup quarterback that's getting the start this week was had a couple $1,000 off, and it helps be able to fill in Dedrick Mills and a couple other of the double digit or whatever, $12,000 guys.
Unfortunately, I may hate myself after I do that one, but we'll see what happens later.
If it's what you're talking about, once I saw you're doing it, I was like, well, I got to do it. So that's when I switched my lineup up. So,
anyways, we'll get into that a little bit. You know what? Let's get into betting then. We've said this one here that the bet people have apparently taken a bye week because for 3 out of these 4 games, I think they're crazy. Trey, it's 3.5. Or do you have the records from last week first?
Yeah, I do. So against the spread, you and Ryan went 3-1. I went 2-2. In pick'ems, the coin went 4-0. So I had to triple check that, but it did. Over under though, you and Ryan went 1-3, while I went 3-1. Overall totals for spread, you're 20-11. I'm 19-12. Ryan's real close to that 500. He's at 15-16. But the coin's at 19-12. Straight pick'ems. Over under, you and I are both at 15-1 because there was that one push, and Ryan's got to catch up a little bit. It's 13-17-1. The win percentage, the coin has been right on pick'em 61.3% of the time, leading the way. So if you follow the coin, you're making some solid money. You're following Adam, though, on all their bets. You're at 57.4, so you're making money. Making money with me, too, at 55.7. Because generally, as long as you're right over 50%, you're making some money, especially on spreads and over-unders. Ryan's the only one losing money. He's at 45.9% win rate over everything. But, But Ryan's a fantasy guy, check out the fantasy page on our Discord, and he puts a lot of work into that. The degenerate gambler, he is not. So, but as we say that, his pick for this game, he's taken Calgary plus 3.5 and the under, which is, do I have that here? Under 49.5. So he's taken that. I'm going to copy him, surprisingly, even though his record is trash. But I do think this line is a little too crazy switch there. And the under, though, because I think both teams, like I could see this game being a 21-20 kind of game. You?
Yeah, honestly, I could see the same thing here. I mean, Calgary, honestly, they still are a decent team. I mean, there's still that same defense that was killing people earlier. Yeah, maybe the offense might be a little bit backed up. They still got Dedrick Mills. So give me the Calgary Stampeders at +3.5. And I'm going to take the under just like you guys are all doing. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Although, you know what? Otto can just bust it out at any time, too. They've got the talent and the receivers. Are they going to? Yeah, I'm going to say no. So, yeah, give me the under. Give me Calgary. Same thing. The coin. Let's see what it tells us.
It's going to pick Ottawa, isn't it?
No, it's actually picking the Calgary Stampeders for once.
Wow.
So it's a clean sweep. The Stampeders are winning this game. So all of us are going to be wrong if we're all going to be wrong.
Well, we also got the safety net that they could lose by a field goal, and we still get
fair. Yeah,
so
we got the safety net. So
I think this is going to be a field goal game. If Ottawa wins, it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game. Regardless, It's going to come down to a field goal made or missed by Pereira's. So
absolutely, I think, like you said, you got this right on that it's going to be a field goal game. I think it's going to be a long game though, and hopefully the last kick is coming out of Rennie Paredes instead of Lewis Ward. Let's move on to our next game of the week then. Game number 2. This one's going to be fun to talk about as well. Again, I think the bet makers just took this week off and said, you know what, you guys figure it out yourselves, because Toronto goes down to Winnipeg. I know it's a back and back of a home and home. Winnipeg is missing their quarterback. They're missing their best receiver, arguably their best receiver. They're missing offensive linemen. And somehow they get a -3, or they get the home field advantage to 3, especially after they just got pretty much handed to them by Toronto last week. Tell me why this is what it is, Trey.
I don't understand, because a week before they got handed to them at home by Calgary.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand. Like, I mean, they're really going off the history here, because I think it's another sellout from all reports, which, I mean, at least the fan base is being stupid enough to still buy tickets to watch this train wreck. But I have no idea. Because, yeah, I would swap these lines too. Once I saw Collaros out, I thought the switch was going to happen just like the Calgary-Ottawa game was. And I would flip these. I would take Toronto -3 in a heartbeat. Like, spoiler alert for my betting picks. But I think unless Winnipeg miraculously turns everything around, which I can't imagine. Their offensive line is trash. Their defense has been horrific. Collaros, I think Collaros' first couple of games back, he looked MOP caliber, and now he looks like MOP like a mop. Like, he just looks like he's more useless than a mop. And I don't think Streveler's going to be the answer. I don't think Wilson's going to be the answer. I know I was joking before, but like, God, if anybody wants to get rid of their quarterback for a first overall draft pick, I think Kyle Walters should do that immediately. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of work to do in Toronto. I mean, if they keep playing like that, I mean, they need to keep playing like that, because it looks like Kelly's on the 6th game again.
Yeah, we didn't mention that during our Week 8 review, but yeah, Chad Kelly moved back to the 6-game injured list. Going to be out for quite a little while still. That being said, I can see, I don't know about Winnipeg, what they're going to do in quarterback here. Chris Streveler, presumably, again, Mike O'Shea's playing poker, forgetting that he has his cards on are in the wrong hand, because, yeah, it's pretty obvious they're going to start Chris Streveler. I don't see them bringing in Terry Wilson and starting him, unless I'm dearly mistaken. But that's where I'm going to say you can get a really cheap fantasy quarterback that's starting if you're really looking down the road. But we'll talk about that in a minute. You said this is a sellout for this game here. Any other real notes or anything to really be aware of for Friday Night Football?
Man, I don't want to hear Luke Wilson complain, so I hope this is an okay game. That's all I got, man.
I wanted this game to be a nuppity. Okay. Yeah, no, honestly. Should be an interesting one here. Winnipeg again, a couple little injuries to talk about other than just Caleros. Eric Law, I think, is good to go. By the sounds of it, he will probably participate in this one here. Still no status in Dalton shown. I'm guessing it's going to be long term. I haven't heard about him practicing or doing like anything since being taken out about a week or two ago. Toronto side of the football, with McManus, I think he's healthy and ready to run back. I was trying to pull up if there's any other injuries to let you know about. But let's talk some fantasy players because we do want to get this going. Obviously, I did mention the quarterback. I can't have to say this, but I hope this revolution starts here and against Toronto. I did take Chris Trevor right now until I all of a sudden decided no. But at the moment, we got some problems here with the internet connection. That's okay. We'll try to carry through. Chris Trevor is on my at the moment. I think if anybody something for me, hopefully gets a lot of targets in a game, there might be a chance. Yeah, those are the two I've got. And on the Toronto side, I was looking at Tavares Daniels. I do like him for an option. Nick Arbuckle's okay as well. I don't think I'd really want to take him just because, again, the cost is – everything's about cost right now, it seems, in the fantasy side of things. So, Trey?
Yeah, I got Chris Trevor. I'd be debating Wheatfall because they linked up a lot better early in the season. And Coxie on my Toronto side as my internet. Is my internet okay?
Well, I don't think mine is much better. So, yeah, it could be mine or yours. Okay. We'll go and carry on, though, and see how this is going to keep going. Yeah, those are our fantasy picks. I don't think Ryan sent anything in this week. I didn't read anything about players to watch. I know he did mention maybe cheap quarterback. He takes Trevor over PJ Walker, probably if it was for cheap quarterbacks. So, yeah, let's move on to betting here if we can. Winnipeg again, -3 at home. So it's essentially like a pick 'em because I think you got 3 points just for being the home team. But even then, I thought Toronto would be much higher up than that. Trey, you want to go first or you want to give Ryan's out?
I'll give Ryan's out because we're actually the exact same. He has Toronto at +3 and he's taking under 51, and I'm going to go the same route. I think Toronto has this, and if Winnipeg does edge it out, it's going to be a field goal, like to steal field goal at the end, and I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
It's going to be a boring week here with this all like how it is because I'm the same way. I agree 100%. I am going to go picking the Toronto Argonauts. Our chat has picked the Toronto Argonauts by the looks of things as well because he's done picking Winnipeg to win. So I'm going to take the Toronto Argonauts in this one here, and I'm going to go with the under. I don't know. Arbuckle might light it up, but honestly, backup quarterbacks, receivers injured, defenses are – that's one thing about defenses. I was going to say, Winnipeg secondary, what in the world's going on there? I mean, it's not even bend not break. It's just break.
Yeah, they're missing Tyrell Ford right now and a couple other guys they've lost over the last few years. So, yeah, I don't know. That was my worry when they re-signed a lot of guys, and they ended up losing Lawler on offense, a couple other they lost a lot of depth pieces, and now it's biting them in the ass. So,
100%. I couldn't agree more. I think that you're right. They're missing Tyrell Ford big time right now over in Winnipeg. With that, anything else in this game that you got to go through, or should we run into the next one already?
Did you do the coin and I missed it?
Oh, sorry, I missed it. I didn't even. The coin's annoying me. It's beating me, so I don't want to pick it anymore. It's going with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's going to mess with us, isn't it?
I mean, the Bombers could win, and we still get the +3. So,
yeah, fair, but yeah. I don't know. When the coin starts picking stuff, I almost got to listen sooner. So, anyway, let's move on though to the next game. I don't think there's anything else to really go through on this one here. Next game. Honestly, this is the most realistic one of the bets that we got today. And even this, I don't think is very realistic. Hamilton -3.5 going into Edmonton. Again, no disrespect to Edmonton because anything. I don't know. They looked okay. I mean, Fajardo looked fine. Defense looked okay. It's the Riders. But that offensive line is still pretty much trash. Anything else you on that one?
No, I just think that maybe Edmonton got a little bit of a jolt from Fajardo again playing at his old stomping grounds. Now he's sinking back into reality here, and I don't know. I can't see Edmonton winning this one, but I think this could be a high scoring game though because Hamilton has limited defense, so Fajardo could get some yards, and Edmonton could put up some points and look good on offense potentially, but I think Hamilton's offense on the other side will just steamroll them.
Yeah, I can't see how Hamilton is finally getting it figured out that there's more than just 89 on that field. There's a lot more out there, and I think last week you seen him actually use it against BC. I think it was Arkell Smith. I think it was, or am I saying not the right Smith? Could be Keandre Smith.
Keandre Smith.
One of the Smiths. Keandre Smith. That's what it was.
Yeah, he lit it up.
Plays for Edmonton. Anyway, you know what? Smith had a great game against the BC Lions. Brendan O'Leary Orange was getting some good throws towards him. They were doing it by committee in BC. I would presume it'll be the same thing in this game. Although also I expect to see quite a bit of running by Greg Bell now that he's healthy and ready to go against the Edmonton defense. If you were the head coach of the Edmonton Elks right now, what's the first thing you're doing, Trey?
Trading
or let's
Trey
say generally.
Trading Trey Ford to Winnipeg? I'm just kidding. Try to oh man, my internet. Anyway, try to I don't know, man. I don't think there's any mid-season moves you can do in the CFL to make this team better. I think it's going to be a complete off-season thing, so I don't even know how to answer that.
Fair enough. I was just curious because honestly, I'm the same way. I don't see any real short-term, signing of an NFL player that used to be in the CFL or anything really that can save the Edmonton Elks right now. I mean, they're 1-6, I believe, and if they play Hamilton here, I'm sure they're going to go to 1-7. Hey, anything's possible. I've seen teams, namely the Elks, BC, I think did it 1 year, where they made the thing. They made the playoffs and actually make some noise. But most times, Adam over in our chat, Edmonton needs to get Justin Rankin more involved in the offense, 100%. They have not gotten Rankin or Leak really involved in the offense as much as they really should. I don't know if this is the week to do it, though. Hard to say. If I'm Edmonton, I would try to make some outlets. And if you're right, if Rankin and Leak actually start running the football, maybe somebody opens up and Fajardo can make a throw. Anyways, what else you got, Trey?
I was just going to say that's just the motto of the CFL. You got to get your running back involved. Like Adam in the chat said that about Oliveira 2 minutes ago. Now he says it about Rankin. We could say you said it about Bell. We say it about Butler every week in BC. We say it every week that the CFL, you need to get your running back involved. And I think that, that seems to be the key to success, but nobody ever wants to do it. So anyway.
And the other thing also is if your running back's involved, that means your offensive line is involved a lot more. And they seem to kind of go and do a lot more protection when you are running, actually making a pass, maybe a little bit better because they're trying to protect quarterback then just a little bit more. I don't know if that's true or not. But let's move on then to fantasy. I'm sorry for going really quick here tonight, but I know both of our internets are kind of going wonky here tonight. Fantasy players to watch in this one, there should be a few, especially on a certain gold team, the black and gold, I would think. Trey, anybody you're really looking at in this one?
Oh, Bell, Smith, and Lawler, man. That's kind of where I'm going. I never like to have two running or receivers on the same team, so I might drop one, but just cash wise, Keandre Smith at 4.4 might just be the fit there. And as long as he just gets a couple of catches, it might be worth it. Even and as long as Lawler can put up 20, 30 points like he's done pretty much on a regular, it might just balance itself out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think actually what I'm going to say, though, is Hamilton defense. The Riders got 8 sacks on Edmonton last week. Hamilton's defense, it's not the best. Again, it's not where their real strong suite is. But honestly, I think this offensive line is pretty much hot garbage right at the moment. And I'm sorry for any Edmonton fans that disagree with me, but prove me wrong. Lots of sacks, lots of turnovers. Hamilton put some pressure on there. We've seen Cgy Ott, I think it is, make some just absolute amazing plays out of safety this year so far. Make some really amazing catches. Yeah, I like Hamilton's defense. You said Bell. I know I'm going to him on my roster as well. I think he's going to have a big game. And Kenny Lawler's on mine right now because I save so much space with Chris Trevler. I can afford Kenny Lawler. And I'm hating myself every minute that I say that. But nevertheless, we'll go with that. Betting this week, if you got any other players, make sure you put them out in the chat. We'll go and we'll try to run through them if there is some extra guys you want to know about. But hey, in the meantime, fantasy, let's go with the betting. Edmonton 3.5-point underdogs at home against Hamilton. I don't have the over-under there, Trey. What do you
54.5.
54.5? Boy,
That's a big
high.
one. Yeah.
Hamilton. That must be what's doing it.
Probably Hamilton and also Hamilton's defense. Like Edmonton could still lose, but like I said, maybe put up 20, 25 points, and all Hamilton would need to do is put up 30 if Edmonton puts up 25 and we get the over, right? So Ryan took Hamilton. He went with the under. He doesn't like those big numbers, so he went under. He's going 3 straight unders. Took Hamilton. I'm going to take Hamilton, but I'm going to take a hunch and go over that. Again, I think Hamilton might be able to put up 30 to 40 points on Edmonton, and all Edmonton has to do is put up 15 if Hamilton puts up 40, which I mean, so I'm more in that way. Adam, what do you like?
I've seen some surprises in the league this year, and somehow, I don't know why, I just got a funny feeling in this one. So I'm going to go with the over. I believe you're right. This is going to end up being a shootout. But I think Fajardo's going to win this one. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know. Again, I've bashed Edmonton the whole time during this little bit of the podcast. But you know what? For some reason, I've got the Edmonton Elks at least covering. I think will win. I don't know why. I just, weird feeling. I think it's a trapper Hamilton. Hamilton's played over their capacity. They could have lost last week. They rallied. They managed to beat BC. And you know what? Edmonton's got to win sometime. Why not this weekend? I'm going to go with the Edmonton Elks. My advice on this one, don't bet the ant farm. Don't bet a real farm. Maybe bet on some inoculant, but don't bet anything else. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Elks and over. Ryan, what did he go with?
Hamilton in the under.
Hamilton in the under? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what the coin tells me. Yeah, the coin is smart. It's going with the Edmonton Elks as well. So either the coin is committing stupidity or suicide, or it's just being dumb. But you know what? Hey, misery loves company. I'll gladly take the coin of me to go and head off to glory and victory. Ain't happening. They're getting hammered. But you know what? Why not? Crazier things have happened, right, Trey?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, as Trey convinces myself that I'm not crazy, we'll go to the game of the week here. The Saskatchewan Roughriders and Montreal Alouettes. Saturday night, just in case it matters. In Saskatchewan, it matters because most times when the Prairie Boys get out to Montreal, it's a celebration. Luckily, it's not on a Sunday because otherwise this team would be completely done. I would be very, very, very much in bad shape if the Rough Riders did. Although they're 2.5 favorites. Trey, what do you got?
Oh, I'm actually surprised this game isn't on Sunday. Long weekend, man. You know, can't have a game in Saskatchewan on a Sunday on a long weekend. But and the NFL hasn't started yet. Preseason starts this week though. But I don't know, man. This game is interesting to me too because Saskatchewan very closely won against both these teams are coming off a win that's very close, right? Montreal probably got a little lucky with Calgary's injuries. Saskatchewan was lucky just to hold off Edmonton. But yeah, this is a big game, man. This is the battle of some big teams here. Montreal is now battling for first with Hamilton. Saskatchewan is trying to fight off Calgary and stuff. And yeah, this is a big, and BC being on the bye, this is a chance for Saskatchewan to get another couple steps ahead. Like this to me actually would be the game of the week, right? Because they're both 5-2. You wouldn't be crazy if you said this could be a potential Grey Cup matchup, right? Like with how these teams are playing. Is Alexander back or is it MBT? It's MBT. That's my only concern, but he didn't play terrible. He did enough to get the win last week against Calgary. So yeah.
I'm looking at this game and saying it's a trap for the Riders because Austin Mack this week, McLeod Bethel-Thompson, like I just said, Mack will be likely out this week. That being said, on the Riders side, Sam Mtl hasn't practiced this week, so take that with what you will. Tommy Neild has been practicing for in the number one spot. It'll be a clean sweep for the Eastern teams this week. That's a pretty bold prediction. We keep forgetting to do our hot takes. When Ryan gets back, though, he'll probably get on that one. That's a pretty good hot take, honestly. Clean sweep of the East. I could honestly see it. I could also see it going the exact opposite way. It's kind of a weird week this week, I think. But that being said, Saskatchewan is getting some help back. Zach Fry sounds like he's ready to go. They do have another couple pieces coming back. Malik Carney is practicing. Not sure who else there was on that non-list. Sean Bang Jr. is more of a after the bye week. We'll try to fit him in some with time. But Joel Robicelli has done really good for the Riders. Yes, I know it sounds like a Riders podcast, but no, that's not us. Overall, I think Montreal, injury-wise, a big thing. Yeah, still is McLeod Bethel-Thompson playing in for the injured Davis Alexander. Other than that, I think that's about really it for the preview. Let's go into fantasy play. Who do you got?
I actually have nobody in this game right now because I just have found neither of these, like, just money-wise, maybe if I had money for Ouellette, but it's kind of hard to go against Mills and Bell. I know Saskatchewan's got some good receivers, but then again, who am I kicking out? Coxie, Smith, or Lawler? It's kind of like who. So right now, I kind of have nobody in this game, and I was trying to stay away from the last game of the week, regardless of who plays, just because then it's at least it's not the Sunday game. But no, there's a couple of the Saskatchewan receivers I'd be tempted on. Definitely Ouellette would be one. On Montreal's side, I don't know. I've kind of been underwhelmed with some of their players. They haven't had that spark that from the past. Have they?
No, they haven't had that real spark. And if you're looking at any receivers or anything, I think right now, I'm looking over at the Saskatchewan side of the football, and there's one receiver in particular I'm looking at, and that's because he's got a Canadian passport. I'm going to go with Dante Myers moving into the spot that Sam Mtl would usually take. I think he's going to get a lot of targets this week because of the Canadian passport. He's going to move in. Tommy Neal to move way out to the outside, and I think he's going to get less targets because they just haven't played him as much yet. But they got to fill that Canadian spot. So expect, Dante Myers to have a pretty good game. Keyshawn Johnson, all those are usual suspects. You know all about him. Duncan Busby, same thing. I think he's ready to go this week. But again, I wouldn't be too concerned on those. This is a week that I won't take Cgy Ott because of the travel and because they're doing so many swaps lately in that offensive line again. I know Fry has been in there. Daniel Johnson's been in there for a while. There's been all sorts of different people in on offensive line. So I don't know what to say on their offensive line, and that directly affects your running back, who is a guy that does not receive many out of the backfield for catches. He likes to run the football. So I'm going to stay for Mtl this week. Montreal side, if I have to take anybody right now, I like Tyler Snead or Charleston Rambo. Either one wouldn't be a bad pick. McCall Bethel Thompson's a little expensive just because there's some other picks that you can get for cheap, and that means you could go and probably pick up a Kenny Lawler or somebody else that you really, really did want. So, that's what I got for fantasy advice. Hopefully Ryan gets back here soon to go and give us some actual fantasy advice because he'll have all his charts and everything else done up. He usually has those on our Discord channel, by the way. So if you're looking for some detailed fantasy advice, take a look at Ryan's posts when he goes into the fantasy section because usually he's got some real good info there. Betting this week. Let's go. Well, I've been talking about Ryan so much. Let's go with his picks first here for this game. Trey?
He takes Saskatchewan Roughriders -2.5, and he's taking the over, which is over 50. And him and I have agreed way too much this week because I'm going to take Saskatchewan and I'm going to take I'm going to go the under. I just changed my mind on that. But him and I think, have agreed on all the picks, but I'm going to take the under on that one. Both teams actually have pretty good defense. I was just looking at their points against, and relatively speaking, both have pretty good points against. There's only one team that has a lower points against than either Saskatchewan and Montreal, and that is Calgary, which is kind of crazy. And Winnipeg, who's played less games, has Winnipeg too has less points, but they have one less game. So that's that. So Saskatchewan and Montreal's defenses are pretty tight there. So I'll take the under.
Saskatchewan's defense has been tight, but here I forgot to mention in the preview, Saskatchewan has been playing 2 quarters for the last weeks. It's driving me insane already. Last week it was the second and third quarters they decided to play. Fourth, they decided to call first quarter. Who needs to throw up early? So I don't like it. Saskatchewan's going to get burned doing that one time, and Montreal proved that they can come back when they need to and beat a very good football team. So give me the Montreal Alouettes at +2.5. And I will take the under on this game here just because I think the Riders aren't going to score a whole lot. But mind you, Montreal's also got to face Saskatchewan's defense. So I will go with that. And the coin, that was a poor throw. Let's try. Oh, that's not my really. It is going with the home team, the Montreal Alouettes, as well. Following me, I don't know. Something's wrong here. But anyways, that's how we see the picks this week. If you got any comments or anything else about them, by all means, go talk to us in the Discord channel. We'll be there. In the meantime, we are going to run through the Fantasy League update. Do you have yours up, Trey? I'm going to just put mine.
I got mine handy here. Let's see. Sorry. The dang internet's pretty slow today. So week 8 results. Ryan lost by only 0.3 points. That's crazy. You won.
Predictable.
I lost, and Mike lost. So we're all kind of in there, but the standings is kind of crazy right now. We got 2 guys at 6-2 leading the way, a couple guys at 5-3, and then like a 7-way tie at 4-4. which I'm in that. Mike's in that. You are 3-5, so just sitting on the outside. And Ryan's at 2-6, which is wild considering the league you're going to talk about. Isn't he undefeated? Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's undefeated somehow.
Exact same line.
No, he is. He's undefeated.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. So that's crazy. This upcoming week, you got our buddy Brandon. I think it's kind of a battle of the toilet bowls, if I'm not mistaken. No, Brandon's doing better. He's got a backup. He's at 4-4. So that's a big game to try to get back into the playoffs for you. Ryan's got a tough test at the 6-2. No good, Noverby. Me and Mike are battling off there. That's a big game because we're both at 4-4. So yeah, some big matchups there. And then just because I got it open, I'll talk about our private one here real quick because I have it open as well. Week 8 kicked off. Mike had the top score in that league at 108.9 points. I was real close at 106. You were at 92.7. Ryan was at 70.3. Ryan's still overall in the lead, but I did catch up a little bit. He's got about a 70-point lead on me. 63-point lead on me. So we're trying to catch up to that to make sure that he doesn't win. And I really want to do the roast at the draft next year. So I really want to win.
Hey, it's a fun thing. I know all about it. Big moves though in our private fantasy league too. Team Mike, $55 out of 100 spent on one player, Justin McKinnis. Today. You want to talk about it?
Sorry, what?
You made a signing today?
Oh, yeah, waiver pickup. PJ Walker. Just because I thought there'd be some demand. So,
$5.
Well, my strategy is trying to take away options from other people. That's kind of been my strategy this year, and it's been working. So,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, it's not a bad strategy. I mean, quarterbacks are pretty much right now. And, we're good for you last week, especially picking up Nick Arbuckle at the last second. Not even in waiver wire, just picking him up outright just for cheap to replace Tommy Stevens. Nice move. Nevertheless, we will move over to our to the CFL Podcast Fantasy League. Ryan, I can't believe it. He's still undefeated. I don't know how he keeps pulling it off. He played who did he play last week? My sheet just moved on me. Ryan played Travis Curra from the 2-Out CFL podcast. Ended up defeating him. Trey, you ended up playing Argo's Fancast. It wasn't perfect.
I'm sorry, my internet's killing me here. What'd you say?
Yeah, mine froze right up too. Sorry. I was just saying Argo's Fancast defeated you last week, 53-74. Wasn't a good week for Trey. Let's put it that way. Lowest score of the week. And myself, I ended up beating Ryan from the Horseman's Radio. Beat him. And sometimes when the Stampeders don't play well easily, some days when they play really good, boy, is he a pain to play. But luckily this week was not the Stampeders week. So I ended up winning that one. This week, I'll go through standings real quick, actually. Ryan, you don't lose your first. Congratulations. However, I'm on the podium now, so I'm at 6-2. Right behind him and Safamod from the Piffles podcast. And he's still right in the middle of the things, kind of grinding it out at 4-4. The CFL Outsiders and X's and Argos are ahead of you in points, but fantasy playoff spots. Still lots of football left to be played. This week for the schedule, you are taking on, over for our fantasy in the CFL Podcast League. You're going to take on Ryan, And I go and I take, it's me that's getting all distorted. I know, I apologize. And then I'm going to be taking on the league average. So hopefully you guys don't run up the score like bad there. We've had internet problems all night. We do apologize. Hopefully this is getting a little bit better. But yeah, we'll run through some closing thoughts. Anything else that you really got to go through, Trey, or should we get this settled up here?
Wow, let's just get the show on the road, man.
Yeah, like I said, we do apologize if our internet's been a little bit wonky here. Who knows? Ryan might be back one of these days. He can actually tell us what in the world's going on. But hey, until he does, putting up with us, the poor children of the Canadian football countdown. Nevertheless, let's move on next week, of course, to episode 297 of the Canadian football countdown. That'll be next week, probably at the same time. We'll let you know a little bit sooner when we can. You can also go and follow us on Twitter at CFC Countdown Pod or on Facebook. I've been trying to make a few more posts there on the Facebook and Twitter pages. Hopefully you get a few more of these. But the best way to follow us, really, in all honesty, is to follow us over on the Discord channel. Me, Trey, Mike, Ryan, we're all over there. We're talking as much as we can CFL and making sure that you also have your game day notes so you can go and talk and trash talk during game days as well if you really want to. Be sure to check out all the other great shows from the Canadian Football Podcast Network, as well at CF Podcast Pod Network on Twitter, and the Alternative Football Network at official AFN on Twitter or alternativefootballnetwork.com. And let's know where people can find you. Trey, where can people find you over on the socials?
You can find me on the X at Trey MB Harness. I'll admit, if you follow me there, you'll probably be really annoyed with all my horse racing stuff because the harness racing season just kicked off here in Manitoba. So, yeah, it's a lot of horses. A lot of horses in my life right now. So that's what I'm doing there. Horses and inoculants, Adam. Oh, no. So, yeah, you can follow me there or at the Discord. Yeah, Adam.
You're allowed to mix those two. Are you able to mix those two together, horses and inoculant, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Nevertheless, hey, you can find me at Adam Stewart 1 over on the X. You can also go and find me, probably better yet, most times I'm always posting on the Instagram at Farmer in Sask. I've got all sorts of cool little photos of emptying grain bins or cutting slew hay, which was not inoculated, even though it probably should have been. Yeah, that'll probably be the episode name for this one, the inoculant episode. Anyways, yeah, you can find me at Adam mostly on deck. For Ryan, you can find Trooper 42. If you're looking for Mike, you can find him at Mike Garrell. Both of them I hang around on Twitter a little bit, as I usually do. But usually Ryan's out there to gloat and let everybody know how he's doing in fantasy, especially when he's undefeated right now. He's getting more intolerable by the week. But with that being said, make sure that you follow us, whatever platform you're listening on. We appreciate if you do all the fun stuff like liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, rating, reviewing, and sharing the show with your friends, helping us grow the show. We always appreciate all that. From me, on behalf of Trey Colbeck, I'm Adam saying good night from Theodore and Winnipeg, and we will see you on the next one next week. Thank you.